idea if this is actually going to work, but it's my first effort at doing a live event on YouTube. Just wanted to see whether I could get some still pictures to show, some video, get the sound to work, and generally have a bit of a play around with it, and hopefully one or two of my friends from either Facebook or YouTube will give me a bit of feedback to see whether it's worked. I think it's got quite a bit of potential, but anyway, I thought what I'd do would be cover a few little ideas I have. I've been doing a bit of cycling using my power meter and video cameras, and this is where, if I can just lay my fingers on it, this is the power tap hub on my Trek bike, built into a zip wheel, and that's been the source of the data for this little project. What I've been doing is recording video as I've gone along, and then superimposed some data, so the heart rate data, power data, cadence data, and other bits and bobs, GPS information on the video, just to make them a little bit more interesting. And I thought I'd try and do some of that sort of stuff with some footage I might get out in Mallorca with the Vags. That's of course if I'm able to keep up, because my fitness certainly isn't what it was when I did the 24 and 12-hour time trials, getting on for 6 months ago now, and I've been on the couch pretty much since then. So we'll just have to see how it goes, but that's the source of the data. The other thing you can do with this, the way I've done this, so the software package is Dashware, and the camera I use is a GoPro Hero Black, and the video clips are recorded in 720 is the frame height, at 50 frames a second. Then they're sort of converted and compressed, and the data's added with Dashware, and then everything again has to be compressed for streaming and everything. But you end up with some quite interesting results. I'm hoping this is a sort of kind of thing I'm planning to do, but obviously with power data overlain on it. And this clip here was taken out in Mallorca last year. That's Austin Wilcott there, just gone over the top of the Cold Orient. So it's sort of interesting to pull these things together. It's a bit of a performance to do, but I think it's actually worth it. I'm just glancing away from the camera there, looking to see how much work because this is a trial, to see how much work the CPU of this Mac is using, and how much memory it's using, whether the bandwidth is adequate, and so forth. It seems to be holding up. It'll all work a lot better, I think, as Austin just arriving in Orient there. There should be some of our fellow Vags waiting for us on the right. I'll be polite. We stopped to take photographs. We weren't left behind on the climb at all. But this should all work a lot better when I've got a fibre optic internet connection. This at the moment is just being streamed over conventional broadband, so the maximum upload speed I've got is about 1 meg or 1000 megabits per second, so really pretty slow. But it seems to be working. It's going to be interesting to see what feedback I get about how well it works or not. As you can see, I'm just sort of switching between different views whilst I'm talking. There's a little group there. That's on another day from last year. You can also incorporate still images into this sort of presentation. Obviously, that's a lot less CPU intensive. That's Lorena just on a local walk. That's a little footbridge at the back of our house over the River Aln. So it's all depending on how this comes out to other people, it seems to be working okay. So let's have a quick look at the little Dashware project. I'm just keeping one eye on the time. Didn't want to last this to last for more than about 10 minutes so that people wouldn't get too bored. I think I've been talking for perhaps about 5 minutes now. So we'll go on to the little Dashware project, and this is some video shot when I was cycling from Amble. So I don't know how well you'll actually be able to see that, and that's the sort of information I want from this test. I can switch from the split screen there and hide my ugly face over to a full screen of the video data, just so that you can see things better. So you can see, apart from the obvious, this is just heading into Amble. So in the bottom right hand corner we've got a continuous readout of the latitude and longitude that I'm travelling at the time. That correlates very, very well with the Google Maps data. So this quality is not bad. There's no image stabilisation or anything on it. So filmed with a 720 pixel frame height at 50 frames a second. The compressor package that's used on the Dashware package doesn't actually export to a ProRes file, but exports to an MP4 file. So then I have to do further work with that, but it all fits together okay. So in the bottom left hand corner you can see in the blue it's about a 32 mile ride. So for the first half of the ride it's predominantly uphill. You can see the route profile there in blue, and the little red bar is the current position. So as you can see, majority of it's uphill, and then it's just a little scale of the altitude on the left, so there's no big climbs. So we're just coming into this island in Amble. This is where some of the 10 mile time trials have started in the past. We're just coming up to the garage on the right. So going up to just above the readout, you see your percentage or a degrees of gradient, and we'll see shortly when that gradient changes. You'll see the percentages change. It's pretty flat there. That lorry that's overtaken me, he unfortunately stopped there, so you'll see the power output dropping and the cadence going down to 0 as I freewheel up behind him. So right up behind him, unfortunately lost all my momentum, and then you see the power. The cadence is the big green bar, so 40 RPM going up to 50. I was just slowly increasing it. I didn't bother to change down, I just built it up slowly. And then you see the little gauge flicking around. That's the wattage that's coming out of the data's coming from the power tap onto my Garmin 800, and the watts on the little clock in the middle there. The bottom right dial is obviously the miles an hour. So currently doing just 18.2, 18.3, something like that. And just behind that, the little gauge in red is my heart rate from the chest strap that I was wearing, and the little gauge to the right of the figures giving an indication about whether I'm working hard. The harder you work, the numbers go up obviously, and the colour goes from green to yellow to orange to red. So we're just coming into Amble now, over the bumps at the pedestrian crossing. And we'll just continue on I'm going to turn left here. So again, if you watch the dial on the left, the cadence will drop right off as I sort of freewheel into the corner. Wattage drops right down, then back up and into the headwind. So we just change the view again, pick the relevant one. So we'll continue with the ride, but just using some of the different features to see how it all works. Certainly looks okay from this end, but obviously that's completely irrelevant if it turns out to be a complete and utter load of rubbish at your end. So there we are. I'm leaving Amble now. My speed's dropped down to just over 15.9 miles an hour for the same wattage. I've hit a very, very strong headwind. It was really windy the other day, and see the road surface is very bumpy. But there we have it. So that's a general sort of demo of this. I thought I'd talk for about 10 minutes, and I believe that's pretty much how long I've gone on for. So there we have it. There's the source of the power data, and hopefully back in Mallorca in a few weeks' time I'll be able to produce some more stuff like that. So hopefully that's been of some interest, and please do drop me something on Facebook or YouTube, Twitter, whatever, an email, or even give me a ring and speak to me. But I'd be really interested to know how this has worked out, and whether it's actually worth pursuing. So I can make it a lot better once I've got some broadband, it's not broadband, some fibre optic internet. Now I've got a much higher capacity line, so I'll be able to upload much higher resolution video. But this was just a tester, so we'll see if it works. But thanks very much for dropping by, if indeed anybody has dropped by, and I'll look forward to hearing from you to see whether it's been any good. So cheers for now, and thanks ever so much for dropping in.